Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to our installment of Scott Selections here for Friday, January 13th. For again today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We had a loss in hockey with the Predators money line at minus 140 on FanDuel. Beat a huge line move. Line closed at either minus 170 or minus 180, depending on where you got it at. So we beat a pretty huge line move. Did not matter, though. We were victimized a bit by the injury report, as we were expecting the Predators to use their backup goalie Lankinen, since Saros played the day prior. However, Lankinen ended up suffering an illness. He did not play, and instead we had one of the worst things possible for us, which was a goalie making his NHL debut. And that usually does not go well. Did not go well this time, as Askarov gave up 4 goals, and the Predators ended up losing. They led 1-0 early, and then the Canadiens really did a good job of applying constant pressure with the new goalie, and the new goalie didn't really stand up enough for us to get the job done. Either way, picked up a loss, look for a bounce back winner here on Friday. But we are going to look ahead for this play to the NFL wildcard weekend. We're going to look at a 2-team teaser with one game on Saturday and one game on Sunday. And for this 2-team 7-point teaser, the first pick will be the 49ers. We're going to tease down from 9.5 to 2.5. And the second pick will be the Bills. We're going to tease them down from 13.5 to 6.5. And that 2-team teaser pays out a minus 135 on BetOnline. Time recording of Friday, 3 a.m. Eastern Time. Reasons why I like the Niners. I'll go in chronological order. So the Niners, we know, have been the hottest team in the league for the last couple of months, as they have won each of their last 10 games by at least 3 points. Seattle did get in. Needed a little bit of help there with the Lions beating Green Bay, but they ended up beating the Jets and the Rams to wrap up the season. The issue is the offense with Seattle, because the offense has really not been good for the last month, and I think that's going to be a serious problem against the best defense in the league. The Seahawks have scored less than 17 points in regulation in 3 of their last 4 games. And in the regular season, in the 2 games, Seattle scored less than 14 points in each game. We've seen this movie before. We have Geno Smith against an elite secondary, and the Niners' rush defense is arguably the best in the league. So if they can shut down Kenneth Walker and force Geno to throw the ball a lot, I think that's going to result in some problems for Seattle, especially with the weather projections here in California. It's supposed to be about 90% chance of rain and 10 or 15 mile per hour winds. And we know the Niners are definitely better equipped to handle bad weather, and I think they should be able to really run it down their throats in this game. The Niners did win both the regular season meetings by at least 8 points, and the formula was simple: run the ball, and in the second game, they were able to get Kittle open a couple of times on some play actions. But you're looking at the actual numbers here for Seattle's rush defense, and they're horrible. Seattle's allowing 150.2 rushing yards per game, which is the 3rd most in the league. With McCaffrey, with Elijah Mitchell who came back, Deebo Samuel came back, even Jordan Mason, who did a pretty good job as a backup for a couple of weeks. The Niners just have so many quality running backs who are capable of exploiting this awful rush defense. And we know that the Niners' offensive line is arguably the best in all of football. I think you'll end up seeing the Niners really stick to what's worked in the first 2 meetings, running the ball, eating up a bunch of clock, and forcing Geno to go the length of the field with this offense in bad weather. I think the Niners win this game by at least 3. They might blow them out, but I do think the bad weather might keep it close. But I do think the Niners will end up winning this game by at least 3 points, especially at home in front of their fans. So moving on to the second game on Sunday, going to look at the Bills minus 6.5. Bills have been very good at home as well, as Buffalo has won 7 of their 8 home games this season. Miami, not so great on the road. The Dolphins are 3-6 straight up on the road. And the main reason why a lot of people love the Bills this week, including myself, is the quarterback situation for Miami, because it is a disaster. Tua is out again with concussion symptoms, and Bridgewater has a messed up finger. He has not thrown all week. According to the plans right now for the Dolphins, it seems like Skylar Thompson will be getting the start again, with Bridgewater being a backup, as an emergency backup if he's able to play at all. But the point is, you're looking at Skylar Thompson's numbers, and he's been horrible this year. You can argue that he's the worst starting quarterback in the league, because you're going around the league. I think Huntley's better than him, and he's also the replacement for Lamar. But Thompson is easily the worst quarterback in the entire playoffs, and I do think that he's going to struggle in the cold weather of Buffalo. To go through the actual numbers this season, 57.1% completion percentage, 1 touchdown, 3 picks, QBR of 27.3. We saw him last week in a must-win game against the Jets team that had nothing to play for besides pride. He won the game. He only scored 9 points. He did not score a single touchdown in the game, but they won anyway because the Jets started Joe Flacco in a meaningless game. But the point is, Thompson is really not good. Now he's traveling on the road to face off against Buffalo, who has one of the best home field advantages in all of football. We know that Miami's defense has been pretty spotty against the pass, and with Josh Allen, with Stephon Diggs. I know that Gabe Davis kind of cooled off a bit, but still he's a big play receiver. I think Buffalo just has too many weapons, and they're more equipped to really just exploit this Miami defense than Miami is to exploit this Buffalo defense. But at the end of the day, you also have a Miami team that I mentioned before that plays obviously in warm weather or good climate. Now traveling to Buffalo, supposed to be 29 degrees. It's not exactly a good recipe, especially long term, to look at warm weather teams traveling to cold weather places. And I think with Skylar Thompson at quarterback, this really might get ugly. The Bills might cover the 13.5 pretty handily, but I'll play it safe and I'll tease it to under a touchdown. Give me the Bills -6.5. So once again, the 2-pick NFL wildcard weekend teaser is going to be the Niners -2.5 and the Bills -6.5, and that pays out a -135 on Bet Online. Bye, everyone.